The Marin County community speaking out tonight about changes they want to see at the State Road 63, State Road 234 intersection in Cayuga. Nicole Christine looked into the changes proposed and found out there's a lot of tragedy connected to that one intersection.
Well, the most recent calls for change come after the death of a teen earlier this month, but there are decades of pain associated with the 63-234 intersection, and community members say enough is enough. At the intersection of State Road 63 and State Road 234 in Vermilion County, traffic lights flash yellow and red for drivers. 3 miles down the road, Tom Harms is thinking about his 3 children.
Well, kids like to go camping, fishing and stuff, and I like having their friends over and play. And the day the wreck happened, I work on a guy's car out here. My youngest wanted to go to the park, watch the go-kart track.
The Harms children, ages 17, 15, and 12, were then involved in a wreck at the 63-234 intersection.
We got in the van, went down there. As soon as I hit the river, I knew it was a bad wreck. By the time we got there, they were cutting TJ out of the car. My oldest daughter was laying on the seat, it wasn't even covered up. Our youngest daughter was on the road, covered up.
The 2 girls died that day, August 11th of 2001, and TJ died the next day. Our station's original coverage of the wreck included an interview with Indiana State Police reacting to the loss of all 3 Harms children.
It's very sad, and especially sad when you realize that it's, an entire family almost, when all the kids of somebody's family have been killed.
And the Harms kids were not the last to die in a wreck at the intersection. Data from the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute shows there have been more than 100 wrecks at the intersection since 2000, the latest resulting in the death of 16-year-old Cameron Chevron on May 11th. In response to Chevron's death, Vermilion County Commissioner R.J. Donovan wrote a letter to the Indiana Department of Transportation demanding action on behalf of his community.
INDOT works for us, not the other way around, and people are frustrated. We pay taxes, and it seems every year INDOT just pushes us off. We'll do this, and then yet we cringe every time we hear a crash at this intersection, and INDOT, we send out our thoughts and prayers, and yet we don't see no meaningful change.
So what would constitute meaningful change in Donovan's eyes?
Taking out the bridge to grade, I think, would help. I ultimately think a stoplight would help. The state will say that we're putting lights up to light up the intersection. Well, that's great if all the crashes happen at night, which they haven't.
Tom Harms agrees that a stoplight should be installed and also wants to have the speed limit changed.
Before you hit that bridge, before you hit the school, with 55. That shouldn't be allowed.
At this time, INDOT representatives say a stoplight can't legally be put in at the intersection as the traffic flow doesn't meet state requirements.
It was in 2000, 2004, 2017, and 2022. So in each of those 4 studies, no hour at any point of the day met those minimum requirements at that intersection.
State Representative Alan Morrison says talks are scheduled between several local and state leaders to take another look at the solutions INDOT has proposed, which include dual LED flashing stop signs on 234 and dual LED flashing intersection warning signs on 63.
Before the end of this month, we will be meeting with representatives from INDOT. From my standpoint, the times that I've driven through there, and anybody who has, it's going to take more than just more flashing lights. And so we'll have that conversation.
For now, at the intersection, traffic lights still flash yellow and red for drivers. And 3 miles down the road, Tom Harms still sits and thinks about his 3 children.
It's hard to come home to an empty house when you know it's full of kids. We got another date coming up this August, again, another year, being without our kids. I don't wish that on any family, the burden that they're going to have to go through. It's tragic.
And there was a petition created after Cameron Chevron's death asking for changes. That petition has nearly 5,000 signatures.